Welcome to the Brad and Taylor Show. Today we have Brett Knybel.
You're listening to the Brad and Taylor Show, a podcast that inspires entrepreneurs to pursue their passions. We're sitting down with some of the best to learn how they got started and some lessons they learned along the way.
Hey, Brett.
Hey guys, how you doing? Thanks for having me.
Of course. How are you doing?
For sure.
Oh, wonderful. Just it's getting colder out now, so.
Oh yeah.
It's getting cold. It's getting cold out there. I had frost in my car this morning. I was like, oh man. Anyways.
Yeah, tis the season, so.
Yep. Anyways, well, let's get this started. Tell us a little bit about you. What do you do?
So I'm Brett Knybel. I owner-operator of the Knybel Real Estate Network at Keller Williams Realty. I've been selling real estate since 2014, right after I got out of school. And it's been a wonderful endeavor ever since. I'm a licensed broker, licensed loan originator. Been having fun with it. So
I like it. So you did it right out of school. What'd you go to school for though?
So I went to Walsh College and graduated with a degree in marketing and business management.
Oh, nice.
And right from there, I kind of hightailed the couple little jobs in between. I just kind of figured out where I was going to land, and that's exactly what I wanted to do.
That's awesome. Good for you.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So tell us about your team. You said, tell us about that.
So as I got started through kind of my real estate career there, I started out as many do, solo agent, running the show, doing my own thing. 100%. All of my efforts were my efforts, and that was it. I soon later partnered with another agent, and we started a little bit bigger team where I believe it's as big as we got was, we had 4 agents and a couple admins, and we were running a pretty good sales business in terms of what we were doing. And that was kind of a great experience going through all that. Right before COVID happened, unfortunately, that arrangement kind of started to fall apart. Not for any financial reasons, but I think we just had 2 different directions we were going with our business. And we decided to kind of split off. And today it is me, and I have one other agent that works with me, and that is the whole show again. So we kind of reconvened the business from going from kind of what you're kind of pushed into doing in terms of, I guess, with starting a major, awesome, big, ginormous team and figuring out how to leverage more technology in our business in order to better service our clients and have less, I guess, hands-on in the situation where you got too many cooks in the kitchen. From what I kind of found out as we began to grow, you would have more and more buyers and sellers or clients, right? That would just get almost frustrated with the fact when I would say, okay, my assistant's going to call you, or I'm gonna have somebody else showing you houses. And it just didn't sit well with everybody as they came through, because they were coming for the experience they had with me and what they were referred to. And not that I service every single person that comes through in that hands-on approach, but they do enjoy kind of speaking a little, higher level with you going through the process, because nobody wants to feel like they're getting shoveled off to the side, if you will, right?
Right.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I completely understand that. I know, especially if it's a new homeowner and they haven't worked with you and they were referred to you and they're expecting you, and then they get somebody else, I could see definitely how they would be like, oh, man, kind of disappointed, but.
Absolutely. And, it's really difficult to, you can't service everybody, right? There's only so many hours in the day. Mm-hmm. There's only, summer in Michigan is just full of road construction. So it could be an hour ride could turn into 2.5 hours sometimes, depending on what accidents and whatever time of the day is, especially, most people get out of work at 5, 6 o'clock. So everybody wants to do things in the evening. So I only have so many hours I can go run around and play, show everybody houses, doing whatever we're doing, and still have a family life and be able, do regular everyday things, right?
Yeah. How do you think the winter time zone change with it getting darker sooner affects that too? Is it less time of the day? It sure feels like it to me.
It sure does. Unless you're getting started, most people are working 7 to 5, 8 to 6, 9 to 5:30, whatever they're doing. And right now, Michigan is getting dark at 4:45 right now. Mm-hmm. So that really kind of dictates that. So a lot of times, hey, you got a lunch break, drive over there and take a look at the roof. Or I go do that beforehand just to say, hey, I looked at the exterior earlier, because we still have those competitive situations with these multiple offers now that are just, very difficult. So, not being able to look at the exterior of a home, although the interior looks great, Photoshop can do a lot of magic with houses. So it's good to get that, light on the problem, right?
Yeah.
That's funny.
Do you have any goals for you and your teammate coming into 2022? Sorry, I can't speak today. Or do you guys plan on growing more, adding more team members on, adding an admin, or what's your plan for the
Yeah,
next
so
year?
we've discussed it at length, and we've been kind of torn on the situation there because what I have learned is by being more hands-on with our customers, we're actually
Hmm.
receiving a tremendous amount more of referrals.
Yeah.
So people are coming through saying, "Wow, this was awesome," and just the referrals that come through just from the experience and knowing what we're doing, just it's kind of blown up in that sense where just as two people we're selling as many homes as we were with 6 or 7 people on a team.
That's awesome.
So yeah, so we've kind of figured that into the equation. In terms of what our goals are in terms of adding more people, we've actually slowly been adding, but we're deviating from the model a little bit where we're trying to groom, people that we want them to get out there and be single agents and learn the values and the kind of the processes and the roadblocks you have to run into as a single agent instead of trying to say, here's leads, work on my team, I'm going to do this for you. We've kind of said, run and own and operate your own business. We trust you. We'll give this to you as a referral, and you run and done with it the same way you normally would. And we're going to be on the back end of the transaction too. And that's kind of grooming and kind of showcasing new agents in that light, giving them the boots on the ground experience. Because to be honest, a lot of the people that come through say, I really want to be on a team. I want somebody to mentor me. Please let me work for you, do whatever you're going to do. And they get dependent on being handed things through the business. They get dependent on you handing them leads, internet referrals, those types of things. And they don't really dive into what the mechanics are that really create a real great business, not just a real estate business, but getting to know your customers on a deeper level and really working through relationships and making sure that the people around you know, like, and trust you. And if they don't, and you're just somebody that's good at servicing it or trying to just for a quick buck, that's not kind of what we're looking to bring into there. And also, it's been very difficult with hiring on the admin side. With through this since the pandemic, people are losing their quitting their jobs, leaving their jobs. Not everybody really wants to go into an office setting, so kind of working in a more virtual model now, trying to bring that in. And we've looked at doing some. We can do basically virtual assistants now,
Yeah.
where they're highly trained, and we're looking into some of that inside. You can get people from the Philippines or whatever is going to be going on there. The language barrier is not difficult. It's not as complex as it used to be. And then at the same point, they come fully trained and staffed, and you can kind of mitigate some payroll taxes, and the cost for that labor is a little bit cheaper because right now, I mean, it's very difficult, real estate business, until you hit a certain level of units every single year. It can be very expensive for somebody to bring, in full-time staff because, obviously, minimum wage, real estate's a complex transaction. You're not going to pay somebody just a little bit above minimum wage to service people's highest or most expensive asset they own. Correct?
Right.
So true.
Yeah. 100% agree with that. I know. You mentioned technology earlier as well. What is your favorite way to market bringing in that technology that you guys were kind of talking about?
So we've tried to just bring a new experience, and obviously you guys have been doing it for a while too. Just showcasing our listings at a little higher end light with the videography that goes into
Yeah.
selling a property. Everybody kind of figured out how to your iPhone now is just as good as 5 years ago. The most expensive camera on the market. So the photography part of it is kind of you guys still have to understand angles and lighting and stuff that goes into that. But at the end of the day, the videography is really just kind of accelerated the experience, especially our sellers have with us when they're looking at their property. One, it's a great way to get it in front of people because more people are willing to look at a quick minute to minute and a half video of a property. And then on the same token, if you're putting on 45 pictures on the internet, nobody's really clicking through all those, and it's just a quick way to kind of showcase that. That's been kind of our go-to in that sense. Also, with the way the market's moving on our buyers' ends, realistically, it's really showcasing, hey, this is where the market's at. This is where you're at. What is your buying power? What do you truly have in your repertoire with where you're, currently being able to be financed at, your type of financing, your down payment, what kind of money you have or needs for closing costs, how handy are you? And we're really doing a little bit more deep dive into the property before we even start showing it. just to save these people time, because people start to suffer from what's called buyer burnout. And what happens is you start writing offers on houses. Everybody knows somebody right now that's been looking for a house for 2 years and gets beat out in every multiple offer situation, and they're just struggling. And a lot of that comes down to the coaching and education that goes behind it before you buy a house, or even you start looking. And one is having your financing intact and knowing that you're going to have some buying power, because you are competing. You're not shopping, you're competing. And going through that and understanding the property, looking through just the photography and talking to the listing agents about the condition of the property, because some of the first time home buyers, they either don't have the know-how in order to repair and fix things, or they don't have the finances in place in order to kind of hire that out and really bring in true professionals to do the work. So at the end of the day, is this something you're going to want to do? It's probably going to be 7, 8, 10, 20 grand in order to get this place up to par. Are you wanting to do that? So really connecting them with understanding the cost of renovations and repairs, as well as making sure their financing is even remotely, they can compete in today's market. And obviously with our listings, just really diving into the videography. And the videography also brings a great memory to anybody that sells a house. When you look back at your house and you really just see like, oh my gosh, this was like the greatest, thing that I've ever seen. Oh, I can't believe how good the house looked. It always just brings back a memory to those people. They can look back and see it. They share that with their friends and family, and people truly just enjoy seeing something they own showcased at such a high level.
Yeah, absolutely. If you could start over today with all the knowledge that you've learned, what is one thing that you'd change from the start? What would you do differently?
I if I had to go back and do it all over again, I probably would have just kind of stuck in my own lane and did what I had to do. And instead of trying to kind of converge and kind of grow through acquisition in a sense, if you will. But there was a lot of great learning experiences that came through that. I think I would have actually, if I could have started all over again, I wish right out of high school, I just would have jumped full speed into this, because I do think that there was some wasted money. And although I didn't take out any student loans when I was in school, I worked full time, went to school full time. I was busy through those years. I don't think I needed to spend the money, nor did I need to spend the time with the college education behind it. It you don't need a college education to sell real estate. So I really think if I could go back in time, I would have taken those, 4.5 years back and really just went full fledged into what I was doing. But hindsight's always 20/20, so really can't have any regrets on that. And then I guess another thing I would look at doing too is I think I would have focused more heavily into being more listing based. But when you're young and you're starting out, most of your friends, family, sphere of influence, as well as people that trust you. I'm 30, and when I started, I was 23, and I looked like I was, 17. So when you're sitting down with somebody with the largest asset that they own, it's $250,000 to $500,000, you kind of look like their kids or their grandkids. And they don't necessarily think you can live up to speed there. So you get sucked into running with truly being buyer heavy, which is a lot of hours that you're running around, showing houses and running through roadblocks and playing in that space.
That's awesome. So how can people get a hold of you?
If you want to get a hold of me, you can email me at brett.knybel@kw.com, or you can text me at 586-295-9550, or just Google Knybel Network and Google, and you'll find some more information on us there.
Awesome. I like it. Hey, thanks for coming on and sharing your story with us today.
Yeah, not a problem. Thanks for having me.
Are these working?
All right.
Here we go.
Oh, there we go. I think they're working. Should we tell them?
Mine keeps falling. It doesn't like my voice.
What do we got to tell them?
Subscribe.
Subscribe? What do we got to point at? Hey, I think there's a subscription button. It
might be there.
It might be right there too.
Somewhere.
Find
it. It's red.
Yeah. And red. It's blue. It's green. I don't really know.
It's a color.
This mic isn't even attached. Did you plug these in? Well, I guess.
I wonder if they can hear us.
Yeah, I wonder if they hear us. Well, we should probably tell them if they can hear us. We should probably tell them also give us a 5-star review for listening to on Apple. That'd be cool.
5 stars, guys.
Share it with everybody they can think of.
We won't take 4 stars.
I mean, Taylor, I don't even think these are on.
I don't think this is working.
This is not working.